of experience. We figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in November. Try their brand new fall sweet trays, including cinnamon rolls, pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, pumpkin cheesecake brownies, and apple croissants. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert, driving left side, is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, welcome to this magical, magnificent, marvelous Monday. Sun is out, not much breeze. I'm shocked as nice as it is being November 3rd. And Nick, it is 46 degrees already, and it's just 9:05. Good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning, Aaron Davis. What an exhilarating weekend that was.
You know what? 1-1.
1-1 for you.
Of my favorite teams.
That is right.
My two squads went 1-1. Of course, we're going to dive into a lot of the Nebraska.
Would you have rather had them flipped where the other team won and the other team lost?
Oh yeah. I mean,
okay.
I mean Pittsburgh. I mean, I have no affiliation with Pittsburgh personally, other than I do personally, but it's my family's from there. I mean,
sure.
A lot different scenario than here at Nebraska.
Very much different.
A lot different. So I would have definitely taken a Nebraska win over a Steelers win, because the wins held so much more value in the collegiate ranks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they don't in the pros, but you have a lot more opportunities, playoffs, etc. You don't make the playoffs unless you're just like abysmal, just horrible.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can be 9-8 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, you got quite a few shots in the pros. Not saying they don't count, but the ones in collegiate level, as we all know, man, they count. They count big time, because you don't have as many opportunities. Of course, playing only 12 games. They play 18 now? 18 games now in the pros. So, So yeah, kind of the lead. Obviously, we know Nebraska drops the game to USC. It's been an interesting weekend from a lot of perspectives. Obviously, the main thing is the injury of Dylan Raiola. Our thoughts and prayers go out to that young man, that he heals from this in a safe, most importantly, in a safe manner, in a quick manner, that he comes back stronger than ever. And that spells TJ Lateef.
Yeah.
Heading into Pasadena for an 8 p.m. Central Time kickoff. Next Saturday night, be on Fox, I believe, Nick.
It is.
It'll be on Fox. So a lot of questions we'll have this week with the new person at the helm at quarterback and true freshman TJ Lateef. Basically, Nick, he's going home to play this game.
I mean, it's as much of a storybook storyline, I guess, if there ever was one, with TJ Lateef coming in because of an injury. He gets to play his first start. Will come in his home state and pretty close to his high school. And so I don't know. It's really unfortunate what happened to Dylan Raiola. Like, I don't want to minimize that at all. But so much of this last weekend, AD, for me was mentality. And if actions in the moment match mentality, what you say prior to game day. And this is just another mentality check, I suppose. And once again, I do not want to minimize the Dylan Raiola injury, because it is crucial to Nebraska, but it's next man up. Like there's a lot of season left. There's a lot of opportunities to be had. Your November historically is atrocious. It continues to be, and you have to figure out a way to get a couple of wins here to end the season. Because if you end the year with 6 wins, you can't chalk up the excuse to being your backup quarterback was the reason. Like that just can't be the reason why. There's got to be more to it. Nebraska's got to figure out ways to get a couple of W's here, in my opinion.
You figure you go to UCLA, a team that have showed hints of a person that obviously knew Heisel as their offensive coordinator, Coach Skipper as their interim head coach.
Yeah.
I've given that program a much-needed life support, and have given them a lot of CPR, and they've performed well. Obviously, they got the brakes beat off them against Indiana, which,
I'll say everybody has.
Maryland did this. They did the same thing to Maryland on Saturday, and I wasn't sure if that was confirmed.
It was
yet.
not.
Yeah, it was not confirmed yet, so there's no news there. I was looking at that. I was like, nah, that's not been officially confirmed yet. So they've done that back-to-back weeks as far as that goes. So that is the caveat there. But so you got an opportunity to go into UCLA, a historic Pasadena, historic stadium they'll play in. I'm actually, Nick, I flirted with the idea of staying out there if the game would have been earlier on Saturday, so I could still fly back. Ain't no way in the world I'm staying out there until 8 o'clock Saturday night until kickoff. So that means I'm definitely flying back on a Sunday. Not doing that. Schedule-wise, it doesn't work. Obviously, then we have the off week before we head to Penn State. Headed into the Black Friday game against Iowa at home.
And I think part of that, guys, I mean, in all honesty, is that you can have. I'm not trying to once again positively spin this and say that this is a good thing for Nebraska, because it certainly is not. However, if this was to come at a certain time, I think, it lines up well, because Nebraska is going to be able to prepare TJ Lateef this week, sure. But then having the bye week after his first start is going to be incredibly beneficial to Nebraska. And that's an angle that I haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of people talk about. Having the off week, a week after TJ Lateef starts his Husker career, has his first start, I should say, it is going to be beneficial. He's going to be able to look back on a full game worth of film that he did. He's going to be able to do a lot of prep work with wide receivers and off time and things like that weekend. It's not a good thing that Dylan Raiola got hurt, but as Nebraska has to move forward, right? They cannot get caught up in this woe is me mentality. They just can't. There's 3 massive games left. UCLA, Penn State, and Iowa. There's 3 massive games left. You cannot, as much as this is bad, maybe bad to say, this is part of football. Star players go out. And there's been many cases where star players go out and teams are able to actually unite closer and get more successful and get better. So that way, when that star player does come back, whether it's a couple weeks later, whether it's a couple months later, or at the start of next season, everybody is better. Everybody is better. Nebraska this is a pivotal week for Nebraska. TJ Lateef, I'm not concerned about Nebraska's offense taking a step back at all. I think there's actually some creative twists that we'll see Dana Holgorsen put into it with TJ Lateef at quarterback. Nebraska this is a pivotal week for the Huskers.
It's pivotal. It's also one, like you mentioned, Nick. I think one thing you mentioned is very is key. Is it happens all the time in football. I mean, you're always going to have starters that go down, and it's that next man up mentality. This is this is not looking at the magnitude and the impact that Raiola has.
Sure.
And then you have Pritchett. We don't know the status of Elijah yet. What his status is going to be. Obviously, against Minnesota, Rocco Spindler, he had an injury, went to the hospital, broken hand. I believe is what it was, or finger, something of that nature. That's part of it. It's the next man up. You're obviously it's going to be TJ Lateef. I'm sure Graham Stanley will get plenty of reps because injuries do happen. You have Harburg as an insurance policy as well, who has played the position. Obviously, we know that as well. There's a lot of things going on this week with that.
I want to say this, because we've already had a couple of texts bring up Gramstad and Harburg and stuff. This is kind of just my personal opinion. TJ Lateef is the backup quarterback. Like, Nebraska needs to move forward in that mindset of that he is the guy. Just the same way that they do Dylan. Nebraska, time and time again, overcomplicates things, it feels like, to where they'll put in guys like the play I'm most passionate about today is that 4th and 1. Is the 4th and 1. And I preface it this way. And we'll dive into the 4th and 1 and all the details of it later in the show, I know. So now's not the time. But you have an all Big Ten running back, and you preach physicality, and you preach that this is the team you want to be. And instead, and your starting quarterback was out at that time. It was TJ Lateef that was in. And yet you still do not want to just conventionally run the ball on 4th and 1. And there's so many layers to the onion of that specific play and that mentality and what Matt Rule decided to do on that play, whatever. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But Nebraska, I feel like a lot of the time, in the moment, overcomplicates things. When the blueprint can be right there. It is laying out for them on the table, and it's right there. You just have to go out and execute it. And so really, I hope we don't see Harburg at quarterback. I hope that we don't see Jalen Gramstad at quarterback. I hope that they operate with TJ Lateef in the same mindset as Dylan Raiola, where he is the dude. He is the guy. There's ways you're in a position as a coaching staff to get TJ Lateef now prepared for this game and prepared to be Nebraska's starting quarterback the rest of the year. If there's certain nuances to where Haarberg and Lateef can line up in the backfield, no, that's fine. But we also have to stop acting like Heinrich Haarberg is like the savior of Nebraska football right now. As brutal as that might be, like there's this mentality across Nebraska that Heinrich Haarberg is like the Taysom Hill and savior of Nebraska football. I just, there's something that we have to be honest with ourselves of that at times Nebraska overcomplicates things. And it's the same mindset of like bringing in a consultant to coach AD. No, the guy you put in place should be good enough and should be prepared.
Well, if that guy is not prepared, that goes back on the coaches. And I'd be blown away if he wasn't prepared for this. And there is no holding back on the playbook with this. You're trying to get these 3 wins, and these are winnable games, Nick. These 3 games are winnable games, but they have to be a thing to where you have to unleash this young man and play to win. That was a part that was most disturbing to me when you burn 2 timeouts in 3 minutes. You use one to argue a point with the ref of the play that was not reviewable in the first place. You were 4th and 1. You had a running back in EJ. And in my opinion, the first half, the offensive line played one of the first halves I've seen them play all season as far as opening up holes, etc. Go for it. And then to get conservative on our last possession, I'm not even bringing up EJ's slip. If anybody's dessert, there's a lot of things that went into that. I'm not even bringing that up. The reality is this. You got one of the best running backs, not in the Big Ten, but in the country. Give him a shot. And then you put your field goal kicker in a position where he's kicking a 49-yarder. Run the freaking ball. I'll take my chances with EJ.
That's what I told Jay on the postgame show on Saturday night was the person that should be the most pissed off at Nebraska's decision to kick the field goal would be Emmett Johnson. That is the one person in my mind that has the biggest right. And Emmett, knowing EJ, I mean that dude is probably, I mean, he is, as you say, AD, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Like that dude is team first, and it's commendable what Emmett's been able to do and the amount of carries that he's been able to have. Nebraska fans have been craving and starving and pleading for a guy to have this type of production and this type of workload just over the course of a season, let alone what are we now 9 games into it? And so, this you have to respect what Emmett Johnson's been able to do. I will preface that conversation with this. I don't hate the decision to go for it on 4th and 1. I don't hate the decision to kick the field goal. I hate the decision of going against your initial gut, calling a timeout, and then I wouldn't call it cowering, but deciding to go with the more conservative option. Because all week, and the mindset, AD, they played a video. Part of the tunnel walk was like this whole mantra of not being afraid. And this whole mantra of like, we want to be the physical, tough-nosed team. And then also, I go back to like week 2 and 3 of the season, and Matt Rule's video at halftime goes viral about how teams aren't going to want to play Nebraska in the 3rd and 4th quarter because they're physical and because they punch him in the mouth. Punch him in the mouth doesn't just have to be on defense. Punch him in the mouth can be running up down the gut, 4th and 1, lining up saying, we know we're coming at your mouth, at your face, and you're not going to be able to stop us. I don't care if Nebraska would have initially sent the field goal unit on the team just like that, great. If they would have kept the offense on the field, 4th and 1, great. But the decision to set up and the initial gut was obviously that Nebraska wanted to go for it. In a moment where you needed a spark, your star quarterback is down. Emmett Johnson is as good of a running back as you could hope for right now for Nebraska football. And you go against your initial gut. That is, you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And that is what bothered me the most, was the mentality there.
Yeah, that was disturbing to me. I think the most important disappointment I was about was not even the outcome. It was the fact that Raiola got hurt. You never like to see that. That was hurtful. Just because you're a fan of the kid, he's your starting quarterback. That's one. 2 was that not going for it on 4th and 1. You have a chance. When we're talking, me and Ed Stewart, we're talking about this on the show.
Yeah.
and you brought the question up about coaching. When you look at your players and say, you know what, we're going for it because I believe you guys can do it. I'm not speaking for any coach. I'm speaking for myself. What you send, the message you send to your offensive line, to your running back, I believe you can get one freaking yard because he had been averaging 5.7 yards a carry. Listen to that again, folks. 5.7 yards a carry. Give him the opportunity to get one. And actually was just shy of one. Give him an opportunity to get one. And I'm not saying if he gets it, it changes the game. We win the game. I'm not saying either. But you at least give yourself an opportunity to change the game.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say, well, if Raiola doesn't get hurt, we win the game. Well, I don't know that either. But you give yourself a better chance. That's what I'm saying. When you have those opportunities to give yourself a better chance of winning, succeeding, to get in the first down, you go with your better chance. Throw conservatism out of it. Go with your better chance. So that was besides Raiola getting hurt, that was the most troubling part for me, is not to go for it on 4th and 1. You had been snatching their will from them all evening with the run, and it was tough yards. And like I said, that offensive line has taken a beating all year, and rightfully so. I get it. But I tell you what, they played a hell of a game Saturday night, particularly the first quarter.
Yeah,
so you had the holes that were there. That was the part that troubled me the most, is not going for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I'm firm on we had some people that texted into the post-game show blaming the offensive line and stuff for Dylan's injury and blaming the offensive line for inability to pass the ball. I stand firm on this. Nebraska's offensive line the last 2 weeks has been really, really good. And you have to give credit where credit's due. That offensive line has reshuffled a lot to where you have Turner Corcoran that started the game at right tackle. He had to move over to left tackle. Tyler Knack comes in at right tackle. To be fair, that's that next man up mentality, right? There's a lot there. And I'm fascinated to hear from Coach Rule today, sure. But I'm even more intrigued to hear from Dana Holgorsen tomorrow, because there was a lot there to where when TJ Lateef comes into the game, and now we're kind of going off. Like TJ Lateef comes into the game, and Nebraska's offense, like it was almost like they were so concerned with letting TJ Lateef just open it up and let it rip, and it was in a moment where USC then started to really stack the box. They started to bring the pressure, and they started to play man on the perimeter against wide receivers. So not only is that on the offense, I look at the wide receivers and I go, in one-on-one situations, you can't get open once, and then it's go to the offensive coordinator. What do you do in those situations? What did Minnesota do against Nebraska when they gave them the same look defensively? What did Minnesota kill Nebraska with? Underneath routes, rub routes, drags, easy pitching catches. And we did not see Nebraska with all of these playmakers that they tell us that they have, and they do have it. It's not like they tell us it and we're like, all right, well, we know the truth. No, this wide receiver room is a place where you, if we want to bring the NIL into it, deeply invested in the offseason. For moments like that, whether Dylan's the quarterback, whether Lateef's the quarterback, whether Emmett Johnson's having a 1,000-type year, for moments like that, to where you need somebody to go get the football. Part one is coaches have to identify as what could be successful against the look that the defense is giving us. Part two is the dudes that are put in those positions got to go make a play. And in Nebraska had none of that on Saturday. And that was so frustrating time and time again, because there were avenues for Nebraska, and it was almost like they were so caught off guard and had no plan in place for what they could do or want to do if Dylan Raiola goes down.
Yeah, it was and USC's defensive coordinator, like you mentioned, he started putting a lot of guys in the box, almost daring them to throw, as if TJ couldn't throw. The pass that he threw out to, I believe it was Isaiah. No, it was actually Dane Key. I believe he threw that pass left sideline to going back to the south. So that was right on the money. It was a heck of a play by the defensive back right there. So the thing that concerned me, Nick, was they played so conservative as if we were winning the game. You know, and I'm thinking, no, bro, the screen, out to Harburg in the flat, the other screen to Ja'Cory. I'm like, you're not scoring on those.
No, and I'll say it again. I mean, 2 catches for Ja'Cory Barney in that type of game is just not good enough.
Yeah, you've got. I mean,
this is a recurring theme. This is a recurring theme with this offense, is that they cannot get the ball into the hands of the playmakers that they're invested in. They just can't. The fades to Dane Key are great. Dane Key made an exceptional catch, But if that's your only way that you can get Dane Key the football is just throwing up a 50-50 shot, there's other things that are going on.
You know what, Nick? There's a thing called 4 stations. You've heard me and Jay and other former guys bring this up, and this is just the reality of it. Every player got reps every day. If you have to alter the game plan because, a player goes down, that lets me know there's some other guys that aren't prepared yet, and that's unacceptable. And I'm not saying that's what's happened there. I'm simply saying this. You have to have the same confidence in TJ that he knows the offense well. Now, granted, you can't duplicate in practice a game of USC's caliber. In the Houston Christian game, you can throw those out because it's a whole different beast with USC. However, if they are getting enough reps during the week, it should be plug and play.
Well, and there's no reason by game 9 that you shouldn't know your strengths.
Plug and play at that point.
You shouldn't. There's no reason that it was almost apparent that Nebraska didn't know what they knew he could run, obviously, and this is probably being a little over dramatic, but Nebraska didn't know what TJ Lateef could do well. It's how can you not know, especially in a year to where for the first 7 games, the last 2 games, Dylan's been relatively clean in the backfield, but the first 7 games of the year, understanding the reality of that, there's a moment that with how bad our offense is playing and how tough of a time it is to keep Dylan clean, that he might get banged up. Even if it's a ankle sprain, he's got to come out for a quarter, get a tape job, and that's it. Move on. So you're just, hey, you know what? If that happens, we'll just run it with Emmett Johnson 18 times and we'll be good. We'll just kind of coast through the time that Dylan's no. What type of mentality is that? This idea that Nebraska wasn't ready and didn't have something in place to where, okay, you know what? TJ Lateef, if Lateef gets into the game, here are the 5 to 10 plays that we know that he's successful. And a lot of them are going to be run pass options with TJ. A lot of them are going to be the RPO game because he does have the leg ability to be able to beat some defenses. And we saw that a couple of times on Saturday.
He rips a long one, Nick, if that, not ifs and buts, I get it. But the defense that time, the defensive end on the left side made a great twist.
Yes.
Twisted right in that hole. When you look at that hole, it was wide open.
But that's my point. To not have a group of, I'm not saying a TJ Lateef playbook, to where you use it every game, but hey, look, this is what in practice through those reps that you talk about, this is what TJ excels at. And we can run it against any look defensively, or we can make minor adjustments. These are high Division I coaches, supposed to be, and high Division I football players, IQ wise. There's no reason you should just look completely lost when you go out into the field. TJ Lateef might not be able to identify defenses and make the necessary adjustments to the line, pre-snap, things like that Dylan can. That's fine. There's a lot of quarterbacks that also can't do it to Dylan's level. And there's a lot of those quarterbacks that are successful. And so this idea that he comes into the game and it's completely discombobulated and you have no idea how to operate and you have no idea what TJ Lateef can do well other than just drop back and run. Man, this is a pivotal week, and I'm fascinated to hear from Dana Holgorsen because once again, they were talking about it on the broadcast on both the radio and the TV broadcast, USC was loading the box as any team would against a young quarterback. AD, young quarterback, inexperienced. What is the defense going to do? Bring pressure, get in his face. So you need to be able to get the ball out of his hands quick. Number one. Number two, you need a wide receiver or a tight end on the perimeter to go make a play.
Absolutely.
And Nebraska didn't have either of those.
Nick, it's something I'm going to save it for the AD attitude adjustment, but there's another point that, looking in the Twitter sphere, et cetera, you hear this all the time. Well, you didn't play college football, so you can't comment on this.
Ooh, we love this comment.
And I'm going to, you didn't play college basketball, so you can't comment on this. You can't, whatever it may be. Insert whatever the sport it is.
The Ryan Clark analogy. Yeah, that's the non-player in you.
Let me tell you this. Mike Leach did not play college football. Paul Johnson, head coach was coach at Georgia Southern, Navy, Georgia Tech, did not play college football. Sonny Dykes did not play college football, never played Division I. Dennis Francione never coached, but didn't play college football. Hugh Freeze, well, he just got fired, but he's getting $15 million.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He did not play college football. I can go on and on and on, Nick. And far as that goes, a name right now that's hot on a lot of people's list right now. Jedd Fisch never played high school or college football. He played tennis. So, folks, that is, to me, I'm just going to say this. Stop saying because someone didn't play a particular sport, they shouldn't have a right to comment on it and share their opinion. Yeah. And I'm getting tired of people disqualifying other people's opinions because they didn't play a certain sport. People study the game. People can read the game. A lot of your coaches right now in various sports didn't play that sport at the collegiate level. Yeah. Some not even the high school level. They develop an affinity and a love to master. I'm not saying to master it, but to study that craft. I think that's hogwash when someone says that. That's to me, that's a cheap shot, and it's got to stop saying stuff. And it says more to me about the person saying it than the person who actually has a point to consider. So I'm just going to say in the Twitter sphere, stop saying if someone didn't play college sport in that particular sport, they're not qualified to speak on it. Everyone has an opinion. I'm going to share this later on the 80 Attitude Adjustment. Attack the point. Stop attacking people.
There's once again, there's been a couple of texts here that I do want to get to. Wet Blanket's one of them. It says, Nick, I agree with most of what you are saying. I was very impressed by Latif, but because you disagree with play calling, to assume that the coaches don't know what Latif can do and we do isn't fair. Is it possible that the plays that they called are the plays that he runs best? Maybe I need to restructure the way I went about that. This is not me questioning. And this is not Wet Blanket. This isn't me coming after you. It's more so of like you just provoked a thought. It's not me questioning whether or not the coaching staff is invested. That's not what I'm getting at all. Like at no point am I ever questioning right now whether or not this coaching staff wants to be here, whether or not this coaching staff is working hard, whether or not this team isn't better than it was 3 or 4 years ago. Once like that's part of it. However, what I am saying is that you are now in year 3 of this. And while, yes, it's still very early in the overall tenure, AD, expectations are there for a reason. Mm-hmm. And Nebraska has to start to be another one of those teams that as adversity hits, you're able to recover and adapt on the fly. Like that is all that's what I'm getting at. Is this is more of a Nebraska needs to figure out a way program wise to when when it's something like an injury, and I get that it was to the star player. And once again, if you're just joining us, in no way am I wanting to minimize Dylan Raiola's injury, but as it's part of the game, to not look like the sky is falling as a football team, as the guys in the locker room, as a program, when something like that happens, because it is part of the game.
Right.
And Nebraska, once again, like the facts are the facts. Nebraska now since 2018, taking out the 2020 season, 5-19 in November. Under Matt Rule, Nebraska in November, 1-8. Now, those are things that this staff right now can't run from. And sure, if you want to have all these caveats and all these reasons other than just the football on the field of why Nebraska's lost, that's okay. I will value that, right? Like we had this text earlier in here. I'm not sure why you guys are mad. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. Somebody said something along the lines of like, okay, yeah. Somebody said, I don't know. Oh, here we go. I don't know why you guys are mad or complaining. The Huskers were picked to lose. I was surprised by the way they played the game, a step in the right direction. It gives me hope. Okay, we can value that. And this builds off of what you just said about the value and opinions piece. I can accept that and say, you know what? Why are we complaining the Huskers were picked to lose? I was surprised by the way they played. A step in the right direction gives me hope. For me individually, I'm tired of us just appreciating steps in the right direction. And maybe that's because of a lack of patience for me. I'm ready to see results. And yes, Nebraska's 6-3, and there's a lot to be proud of. There's a lot that you can look at. But as you continue to peel back the onion, AD, it's just you sit here, and there was a lot that happened in the media world last week. There was a lot that happened in terms of the whole extension piece of it. There was a lot that happened, especially over the weekend after the Husker game on Saturday. is that we sit there before the start of the season as Husker fans, and in no way am I telling people how to be a fan. We all sit there on this very show, and we talk about how now is the time. This is the expectation. This is this. This is that. It's pretty cut and dry. But then we get into it, and we start to then talk ourselves into caveats, and we start to accept quality losses, if you will, because it was a step in the right direction. And if you want to be in that lane, that's fine. But I'm also I'm okay with myself being in this lane of saying, no, the same way I felt about what Nebraska needed to do back in August, I'm going to feel that same way in November. Because that's expectation and the standard that this staff always talks about holding themselves to.
You know, I could appreciate the gentleman's point, you know, that we were picked to lose and progress, etc. I'm not saying he's saying this or she's saying this, but if I'm picked to lose and I still lose, I'm still pissed the hell off.
Yeah.
I don't like losing, you know, and it's a game that you definitely had the opportunity to win. I can say the same thing about other games. I'm not discrediting the progress that Nebraska has made, because there has been progress. I think that could be lost sometimes when emotions are high. That's why I think I'm very careful when I have high emotions to guard what I'm going to say. That's why rarely after a game do I say a whole lot, because some may come out as emotion rather than logic. But to each person their own. But just because we're picked to lose should not mean a fan base should be okay with losing. Again, Texter, I'm not saying you're saying that, Benny Stretch. With that being said, Nebraska has made improvement. You can't deny that unless you just choose not to look at it, because there has been improvement there in spite of the frustration. In 2022, we go 4-8. Frost is gone. We all know this program was at the studs when Rule took over. 2023, you finished 5-7, top 15 nationally in rushing defense. First time in years. There was accountability, structure, and a plan. I was digging these over the weekend. Year 2, Nebraska, we go 7-6. You actually win a bowl game. You get to a bowl. Now I know. We're like, well, you only got 6. Well, I get that. Here we are in year 3.
Yeah,
we're sitting at 6-3. Now the conference record is not very good. Nothing to brag home about it. 3-2, and especially a game that you should have won. That record's actually changed now. A game against Minnesota, you should have won. So there you go from 4-8, 5-7, 7-6, 6-3. And the reality is this: regardless of what the prognosticators may say, the people on the forehead, the networks, etc. You still have 3 games in front of you where you can finish this year out at 9-3. All of that is still there. Now, what happens Saturday? We don't know yet because it hasn't been played yet. But as of today, Monday, November 3rd at 9:37, you have a chance to go to 7-3. You got your bye week before you go to Happy Valley, and of course, you welcome Iowa home for a Black Friday game. There are major things to play for, and if you look at strictly records, you can't deny numbers. Nebraska's made improvement. But by no means will I be okay with, just because we were picked to lose, I'll be okay with losing. Yeah. And I know those gentlemen down there and those 105 young men are not okay with that. And one thing, Nick, I'll say this before we go to break.
Yep.
I didn't see any quit. I saw no quit in those young men whatsoever. No quit whatsoever. So I appreciate that aspect of it. But I guarantee you, they're just as pissed off as anybody.
I want to ask
but
a
I'm never
question.
going to be okay with, because we were chose to lose the game, I'll be okay with that. No, you got to win those games. Yeah, I know they realize that too.
This is what I just urge Husker fans to do, right? And a lot of this might get scoffed at, and that's okay. If you tell yourself and tell your friends back in July, late July, that, hey, this season I'm not willing to accept close losses, operate that same mentality in November. Mm-hmm. Because what I saw a lot this weekend, both of these things can be true. You can appreciate the effort, you can appreciate the grind, you can appreciate the game, but still be pissed, and rightfully so. But I saw a lot this weekend of acceptance of, well, Nebraska at least was competitive. No, because that is what you've just been working these last 2.5 years to get away from. Mm-hmm. So don't go 10 steps back now. Don't go 10 steps back. Mm-hmm. Don't just because Nebraska was competitive and just because Nebraska lost their quarterback, like, as I don't want to minimize it, because I feel like we have to tiptoe around that, is like, don't talk yourself into accepting less than the standard that this staff set. It's not Nebraska fans setting the standard. It is Nebraska's program. And I will ask this question before we go to break, and I'm curious to see it, the answer from the text line. Does a $35 million roster win that game? Can you sit here with certainty and say that if Nebraska had, because that's the number Matt Rule threw out, 30 to 40 million, does a $30 million roster win that game automatically? That's what I'm curious about. I don't know.
I'm curious about what the guy had around his head walking across the street right there. Folks, we'll be back. We'll discuss. We'll kind of go all over the world in sports when we come back at 9:30.
I love this. I love this. Holy crap, step off the ledge. What's your answer? Fire the entire staff and start over? Not at all. Not at all.
I don't think you're saying that whatsoever. When we come back, we'll dive into a lot of different sports. 10 o'clock on for the rest of the show, be Nebraska football, sound bites, etc. Folks, it's Monday. You woke up. You won. We'll be back.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer. Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back, and this segment is brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, who's been a well-respected rep since 1999. You can help protect your home, your vehicle, your future. You can visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward, Nebraska, and you give him a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100, and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you.
Okay, so we said the comment before the break about stepping off the ledge. What's your answer? Fire the entire staff and start over. They followed up with this, and I think that this can kind of provoke a thoughtful conversation here. They follow up with, how would you fix things? We can't just complain about results and not explain how they can or should be fixed, which I agree with. I'm about as pissed as anyone about losing, but I don't have the ability to change anything except trust the process. I'm going to answer your second question or your second comment first, because AD, part of our job as I think fans have a responsibility, especially for how passionate Nebraska fans are, and for you and I in our roles that we have behind these microphones, it's to ask and bring thought-provoking conversations to the airwaves. And frankly, this is going to be a snobby response to the how should you fix things. My answer is, well, I'm not getting paid to do so. It's not my job to tell you, like, it's not my job to be able to fix things in there. It's Nebraska as an institution, as an athletic department, as a head coach in Matt Rule, to put the guys to bring in the right minds to help fix things. Now, that's the snobby answer. The realistic answer, I think, is this. I don't know. I think that honestly, what I will say is, AD, like, I'm tired of staffs, and it's not just Matt Rule, but staffs preaching physicality and preaching all of these things that they want to do. It's easy to talk about it on Monday, but when you're in the war on Saturday, it's harder to do it. I care more about what you do in the moment on Saturday rather than what you talk about on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday in Nebraska's case. And this whole blackout theme, this whole everything that went into this weekend, you asked the fans to stay committed. You asked the fans to show up, be loud, do their part, be relentless with energy. And in the one of the few defining moments on Saturday, you didn't. As a program and as a staff, you didn't. And it's not just about what you did on Saturday. It's about how you handled the process after Minnesota. It's how you handled it going into Minnesota. It's how you handled it back in September. It's how you handled it in July. And it's how you identified things in the portal and in recruiting back in January. That is why I just asked the question. Does a $35 million roster win this? Because no. The answer is coaching does. Coaching in the moment. Having this mentality of, we are going to go out and kick your butt. That is the mentality. Identifying the right guys to do the job, identifying the right situations to put them in. Just spending money just to spend money doesn't do it. And if Nebraska, I think that there's something to be said about Nebraska in the moment shies away from it. And if you want to know how you fix things, I think that is step one.
Nick, two things. Okay. We're going to get some of these texts too. We'll do that more at 10 as well. Two things. You know, that movie, Evan Almighty, I love that movie.
Love it.
And there's a segment in there where Morgan Freeman is talking to Evan's wife. And he's talking about patience. You think when you're praying for patience, it'll just give you, no, it gives you opportunities in life that show patience. If you're talking about we want to be a physical team. We want to be a team that runs the ball with authority and physicality. When you present it with those opportunities to be physical and run it with authority, you have to take it. We didn't do that at times. In fact, that fourth, I keep going back to that, but there's other calls during that too, where we elected to do something else other than the opportunity was right there to show physicality. And what that does to a team, that trickles down to the offensive line, the running backs, the quarterback, to your defense. It's like, man, these guys went out and got it. We got to go back out and stop it. It sends it's like throwing a rock in Oak Lake. There's that ripple effect. That is a rising tide that lifts all boats. And it comes from a coaching decision. I'm not telling those guys how to coach, because Nick, is your point. No. That's why you get paid the big bucks to do it. However, though, there's a second point here. The reason why I have no problem with fans voicing opinions of frustration, anger, with reason. Not attacking a person, attacking the point. Because in any company, Nick, and I was telling you this off air, when you're a stockholder, which these fans have been and are from eternity dang near from Nebraska football, there's a reason why they have stock. When Warren Buffett brings off his stockholders in the town for the Berkshire Hathaway meeting, because they want input. They're asking questions. Well, why did you do this? When you've invested as much as our fans have invested to tell them to shut up because they haven't coached before, or to tell them you shouldn't take it this way. Listen, when you're invested in a program, you have a right to voice your opinion. It doesn't mean everybody's always going to agree with it, But I don't like the fact that someone should be told to be quiet because their opinion, because they haven't played before, or man, just get used to it. Listen, every person that is a stockholder in this program, which there are millions across the country, around the globe,
especially when you're asking for the money from them,
yes,
to supplement the roster.
No company is going to go to an investor without. Here's my executive summary. Here's our business plan. Here's how we're performing. This is a business right now. And you're going to be held accountable as the CEOs of that organization, of that company. Where's the return on my investment? It's okay for people to be upset. If a stock is not performing well, if you go right now to Morningstar, which is an app, or one of the many, Yahoo, whatever financial you go to, if you see a stock is not performing well, you're going to dig into the numbers and see what the heck is going on. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you when you're in trouble with an organization. I've said this before, Nick, when they dump the stock.
Yeah.
That's when you better start worrying. When apathy kicks in, when people aren't pissed anymore, when they decide to go mow the lawn, go fishing, and go hunting without satellite capabilities to listen or watch the game. Criticism is good within reason. So, Nick, I have no problem with people asking, would X amount of dollars do this? They want to know because they've invested for so long.
And frankly, they I think like we all don't know. Like, does having $15 more million of NIL investment, does it change the outcome on Saturday? Hypothetically, can you get better players? Sure. But part of that is the coaches have to be able to identify those guys. Like if you're getting $15 more million to just overpay more guys that aren't worth it, that feels still so weird saying, then it doesn't do anything for you.
Do their abilities enhance your team?
And do they fit? Like, do you bring in a guy because you're so infatuated with what he did at his previous stop, or do you bring him in because of what he can do for you this season? I think so much back to the calendar year is 52 weeks. You get 12 weeks guaranteed to where you're going to play a game. And what are you doing the other 40? When you break it down that way, less than a fourth, of the calendar year is when you can actually go out and show what you've done. The body of work in the other 80% is how you provide results and how you get ready to prove in those 12 weeks. And that goes from, that's not just a scheme thing. That's not just a execution on the field. That is a mentality thing. The way you talk and being consistent every single day. And I'm not saying that Matt Rule is inconsistent, that he's no way. Like, this is not me once again calling for Matt Rule's job. But the same way that we talk about investment in players and how is Nebraska's coaching staff investing in the right players, we have a right as people that they are trying to get money from to supplement that roster in this football program. There is a right to sit here and go, are they investing in the right coaches? Are they? And that's more than just Matt Rule. That's more than just Dana Holgerson. That's more than just John Butler. Because when things go awry and things consistently, now this is 2 of the last 3 weeks, that they have not shown up in big moments to match physicality, in those moments, what's the disconnect? Where is the disconnect? And if it is look, players just aren't executing, I'm good with that. If it's coaches got to be better, okay, how are you going to be better? But to sit there and I think as supporters of this program, to come in and have this mentality of, well, they were competitive, so we're okay. No, because that mentality has gotten us to where Nebraska's at right now, to where you're happy with a 6-win team, where you're happy with and yeah, there's going to be people that sit here and go, well, Nick, it's 6 wins is better than 4. Yeah, but you know what? It's not better than 10. It's not better than 8.
You know, and to those who have like I said, various opinions on what makes a successful season, et cetera. I mean, that's going to be all over the map. You know, we could look at me and Nick, you could look at that window right now, look at the same sign and see several different things on it. Perception. One thing is not mistaken on there. That is a rib chop house sign we're both looking at. We may perceive it differently, but it is. And so, yes, it is. That's why every morning after the gym, I'm like, man, I'd like that. But that's why at the end of the day, the optics do matter. And I'm going to about the optics, the final results. Those do matter. And as shareholders, and there's a lot of them in Nebraska football, they have a right to voice their opinion.
This is the one last thing before we go to break. 2790 on the text line goes, Nick, come on. It was a close game. We've been critical of them not kicking field goals in the past. Past failures to convert on fourth downs may have led them to try that field goal. It wasn't a decent decision. It was a decision that too many people are putting stock in. If they had went for it on 4th and 1 had failed, they would have been blasted for it today. It's once again, I said this at the start of the show, and I don't know if you joined late. It's fine. This is what I said. I'm not mad if they decided to go for it. I'm not mad about them kicking the field goal. I'm mad at them going against their gut. In moments like that, in these massive moments, what do coaches lean on? Intuition, what they're comfortable with, gut, things like that. You talk all week how you want the foot on the gas, and you want, in my opinion, 3 points at that moment doesn't win the game by any means, right? Because at that point, you hadn't been able to stop USC's run all game. I sit there. I don't care if you kick the field goal. It's less about that micro decision of like kick field goal, go for it on 4th and 1. They should have done this. It's more so of approach to after you call a timeout, you have to call a second timeout, and then you go against your gut. That is all I'm saying. And people are telling me to calm down on here and stuff. Hey man, this is how I feel, and it's disappointing because I get tired of sitting here on a post-game show. I'm blessed to do this. Let me put that out there because people get all up in arms. Blessed to do this. But man, for once, I want to be able to talk post-game about, hey, this was the defining moment, not why Nebraska lost the game, but why Nebraska won the game.
Nick, I wouldn't personally want a passionless post-game person. If you were just kind of vanilla and not care about it or just act like, well, it's another game, I would wonder, what type of show is this? Now, obviously, you have to do your best when you're reporting on it, to be objective on it. But when you're reporting from a fan perspective, even from a local media perspective, I want some passion in there. And folks, that's the beauty. I think we get lost in emotion sometimes, and we take it personal.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, everybody's passionate. And again, I'll say it again. As shareholders, you have a right to voice your opinion. Doesn't mean everybody's going to agree with it. But make sure you attack the point rather than the person again. Nick, I liked how you came in on fire on Saturday night, to be honest. Me and Troy Bolthy were listening up at Cap, and I loved it. I love it, and that's okay. And then when people type in, now some people get, kind of start getting personal, like, whoa. That's not it. But as shareholders, that people have been committed to this program, yes, it comes with the territory. All right. Those coaches are paid enough to where they can deal with it. They know what they're going up against. They know, and as far as that goes, and perfect example, Nick, you look at our situation here. I would rather have a rabid fan base that's very opinionated and voices it than a school. When they go to California, I'd be shocked if there's not more Nebraska fans in that seat than UCLA Bruin fans.
And think about that for
about a program like that.
A week
that's
after.
Not a knock. That's a reality.
No, a week after you just lost a massive opportunity. Fans are still going to travel. I don't know how many miles it is, 1,000 maybe to UCLA. I would imagine maybe a little bit more to LA. I mean, it's the weather's not crappy enough here to where people are trying to run away from the cold weather and the snow and saying, hey, this is an opportunity. Nah, I golfed Sunday. Weather's fine. I just think that it's frustrating, and I don't tell anybody how to fan. And local media is important. I'll say that after this last week. Local media is important, and especially at a place like Nebraska. And it is, there's a lot of passion here, and the minute that you start to, I'm gonna stop it there. There's a lot of passion here.
And Big Daddy Travis, I see it. He
it.
goes, Nick, 100% back. Yeah, I'm pissed off to the fullest. You guys can see my text. Absolutely. And Big Daddy Travis, brother, you got a right to be. And there's nothing. And think about, here's the argument I hate, Nick, before we get to break.
Yeah.
Well, you don't back the team then. What? If a company's not doing well and I'm invested in it, doesn't mean I hate the company. It just means I have concerns and I got frustrations. Yeah. No one's supposed to walk around as an emotionless, heartless robot. No, you got a right to be pissed off. You got a right to be upset. I'm gonna tell you something, Nick.
Tell me something.
When folks in 2007, there's some of you listening that are been alive long enough to remember that. When fans said, I am done, and they walked out of that game against Oklahoma State, the next day, Steve Peters relieved of his duties. Listen, we are nowhere near that. That doesn't mean we continue to accept what we've saw in close games. When you voice an opinion, you're pissed, that means you're invested. I'm going to say it again. The death to any program is apathy. When the text line isn't pissed off, Nick, after a close game, that's when the program better start worrying. Because when apathy kicks in, your program is on life support. I have no problems with fans being pissed off. They're investors. They're shareholders. You got a right to be pissed.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That shows you care.
And once again, like you just, the facts are, you cannot run from facts. And in this results-driven business, wins and losses are facts.
As Q Freeze.
Yeah,
As Franklin. We can go on and on and on.
That is my point.
Wins matter.
Is like the people that if your reaction is, this is where I'll say, like, as much as I can't discredit your opinion for how you feel the way you feel, you also, on the flip side, if somebody was attacking me, and that's fine if you guys want to, please come at me on Twitter. I don't care. But I sit there and my thought process of this is, as much as I can't discredit your opinion, we all can't discredit facts. And our job behind this microphone is to talk a little opinion and a lot of facts.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes facts piss people off.
Can't ignore them.
You can't ignore them. You can't run from them. You know how you stop being a losing program? That's a factual losing program. This isn't Nebraska. This is just overall encompassing. How you stop being a losing program, that's a fact. You start winning. That's how it is. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Do the direct opposite. How does Nebraska stop being viewed as a team that can't beat top 25 opponents? One way. Beat a top 25 opponent. How does Matt Rule get out from under that streak that he is, a 2-20, whatever it is now? Start winning games against ranked opponents. Nebraska, November losses, November issues. You know how you stop that stereotype and that opinion? You start winning in November.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just keep accepting it, that in the most crucial month of a football season, Nebraska continues to lose games, then you can expect them to keep on losing games. That's my point of all of it, is that you cannot run from the facts.
Right.
You cannot run from the facts, both micro and macro. Micro in terms of just this regime, macro in terms of Nebraska football and Nebraska's athletic department.
Folks, we'll be back. Talk a lot of Huskers. We just talked a lot of history right there, and it was spot on. We'll be right back. It's The Drive, 937 Ticket.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer. Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back, 1040 O Street. It's The Drive. Nick and AD here on this beautiful Monday morning, 10:05. Top of the hour, mates. Hope you all are doing well on this first Monday in November. A few things very quickly to go around the world of sports before we dive into Nebraska football again, between the numbers, etc. Dodgers, of course, become back-to-back world champions in baseball. Nick, how did you feel about that, man? You're doing post-game show.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the game. Just because of the situation going on, Nebraska football being that situation. But no, I mean, it was good. Shohei wins another one. Did you see the statistic? Maybe this is crazier. That he signed a $700 million deal this season. The Dodgers made his entire $700 million contract back already this season in Japanese marketing, jersey sales, merchandise, concessions, ticket sales. Yeah, they're fine.
Does it trip you out that Magic Johnson's always affiliated with winners when it comes to sports? The man,
right, man. But like that's what I'm saying. People called the Dodgers crazy for signing $700 million, signing them into a $700 million deal, but they made that back just in 1 year.
Hey, my man Eric, good morning, brother. I'm glad to see that text, Eric. Bleep UAD and bleep the Steelers. We're gonna talk pro tomorrow.
Yes.
But Eric, I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't think the Steelers would come in within 17 within the Colts. My neighbor, Adam McCarville, I love you, buddy. He had his Colts flag up. Yep, he had his Colts flag up across the street. I had my Steelers flag up. The only flag that's a little hurting this morning is my neighbor next to me, Eric Fuentes. His Chiefs lost last night, which we'll talk about tomorrow on NFL as well.
You should have done. Never mind. I can't say that on air. Never mind. I was gonna say something could come across as disrespectful. Whatever.
DF, real quick. This is huge. Magic has 18 rings as a player and owner from high school to pros. That is absolutely insane. DF, thanks for sending that in, brother.
I read an article from The Athletic that was talking about the Japanese marketing over in Japan for Shohei Ohtani, and that if there's a Dodgers game on, you can't go to a bar, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to anywhere that has a TV and the Dodgers game is not on.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's the most popular player. But now they also signed Yamamoto, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and so that their Japanese marketing just across the board is going to be really good.
It's pretty insane. Congrats to the Dodgers back to back. Also, Nick, our women
back to back. Drake.
Yeah.
Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa. Very low.
Nebraska volleyball for the 12th consecutive time. They sweep Oregon. The last time they did not sweep was clear back in September against Creighton.
13 straight matches.
13. Is it 13 or 12?
13.
13
because they swept Wisconsin Friday, Oregon on Sunday.
13. I missed one. 13 consecutive sweeps.
That's the last 39 sets. Excuse me.
I had their game going on my iPad while I was watching the Steelers, and I had that one on silent, but I'm just watching. I'm thinking, it's almost like it's just beat down. Hey, thanks for coming up, guys. We'll see you. Head on back to the Pacific Northwest. Hey, thanks for inviting us up here, Wisconsin. We really enjoy Madison. Bang, bang, bang. We're out of here too.
As a fan, would you want to try? You do because they're winning.
No, that's like watching a Tyson
You're not
fight.
getting. Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, you show up late just for because you're in the concession line and you sit down and you go, wait, it's over.
Well, IQ Crew says technically 40 sets in a row when you look at all of them, I guess.
Yes, because they won the 5th set of Creighton. Creighton was the last match that they did not sweep.
Yeah, IQ Crew, you're right. So, yeah, the investment on there is definitely going well. The ladies are just absolutely just blowing teams out. Nick, to your point, I am not going on the road to watch a Nebraska women's volleyball team because that game is going to be about an hour worth of watching.
That's what I'm saying.
6 hours.
Man, you could probably, I mean, here's the thing. If let's say the match starts at 6 p.m., you could probably book your 8:45 p.m. flight and get out of there and be like, let's just jaunt both
We be
sides.
out of here.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. I mean, it's wild. Nebraska volleyball is on fire. They are so dominant.
Folks,
so dominant.
They're kicking tail. They're handling business. They are on a buzzsaw right now. Congratulations to them. But before we dive into Nebraska football, basketball officially kicks off for both men's and women's teams tonight. And your women, in about 2 hours from right now, they will tip off at noon versus Northwestern State. And there'll be a lot of kids at that
quad
game.
one win. Quad one opportunity. Quad one opportunity. This is tourney building. No, I'm kidding.
The good thing that's going to be cool, Nick, you were one of those kids who remember going to a game like this when you were in junior high, actually elementary school. Probably, was it elementary?
No, 7th grade.
Junior high.
Middle school, junior high, yeah.
So at noon, that place will be packed out with a number of kids from around the city and state, I believe, in closer areas.
It is, because what they do beforehand is they pick a couple of Husker athletes across various sports, and they have them give speeches and talks to the younger kids and stuff, and just how to handle adversity as you grow up and things like that. So it's a really cool situation. It's actually probably going on. The speeches piece of it is probably going on as we talk here at Pinnacle Bank Arena and stuff. So it's a really cool opportunity, especially for kids that are smaller town, right? Give them a chance to go see a Husker women's basketball game. Husker women's basketball, guys, I'm telling you, there's a lot of talk, obviously, and rightfully so, about the men's team. The women's team is going to be good. There's a chance they are undefeated going into middle of December, end of December type of season.
You figure as effective as Britt was last year, what she's going to be this year, it's just going to be a nightmare. That's a person that we talked about that eats, sleeps, and breathes basketball.
There's something also to be said about with Britt, what this team looks and how this team looks differently with Alexis Markowski not there. That's the biggest piece. This is firmly Britt's team. Players like Petra Bozon and Jess Petrie and Logan Nisley and Callan Hake and obviously Britt Prince and Amaya Hargrove is poised for a big season. So there's a lot of interesting pieces with this team. They also brought in a couple of transfers. Emily Fisher from Maryland, we'll see how much she plays, and Haley Weaver from Northwestern at the point guard position. So there's a lot there. I'm telling you, men's basketball opened the season tonight against West Georgia AD, but women's basketball is going to be fun to watch. They're going to dominate today. It's going to be really easy for them.
Well, the men take on, if you just mentioned the men take on Georgia State tonight as well. That'll be on Big Ten Plus, is where that game's going to be on. I was looking that up. So the men tip off as well tonight, 7 p.m. Nick, I'm actually going to be speaking tonight.
Whoa!
For Green's football, Lincoln Youth Football Banquet. So that is going to be at the Lincoln Firefighters Reception Hall. I'll speak about 8:20. My nephew, my cousin.
Are you going to be up late enough?
Well, I'm not going to have a choice because I took my little nephew, Grant Mason. Mason's the other one. Man, my mind's all over the place.
Okay, hold on. Doug, take a breath. Take a breath.
My nephew, my cousin, Grant Davis, is one of the coaches for Green's football as well. Asked me to do this. I said, absolutely, I'll do it. So 8:20 is when I'll speak. I'll get there about 7:45 because I have some meetings going on prior to them, but it's going to be fun to speak to those kids.
How complicated is the sound check at Green's Football Banquet?
I'm here.
I'm here for sound check. Do you have a mic I need to test out or anything? No, we were hoping you could just use your voice.
It's a 3-hour banquet. It starts at 6.
Whoa!
Yeah, because they'll go through, I think, A through C. So it's A through C.
Oh yeah.
A through D actually is what they'll have. But I'll be there about 7:45 to give my talk at 8:20 for about 15-20 minutes.
Wow.
That is pressing close to my bedtime. So I'm excited to share with
I'm
those
worried
young
about
men,
you.
man. I'm excited. Nick, let me ask you this before we dive into Nebraska football. Did the change of time mess you up at all?
No, it was glorious. Because so I teed off. Okay, this is interesting. I teed off Sunday at like 9:45 a.m. And it was, I got home probably we got done with the post-game show about midnight or so. I got home about 12:30. By the time you settle down, you wind down, it's about 1:15. And I thought, man, that alarm's going to come by quick. And I felt refreshed. I felt refreshed Sunday morning. I felt refreshed this morning. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the daylight savings time thing. Does Louis get all out of funk with the daylight savings time with eating and going to the bathroom and all that stuff?
Man, Louis, we could be West Coast, East Coast,
He just
Mountain
wants to
time.
eat.
Louis gonna eat regardless of what time it is.
Do you just leave food in his bowl 24/7?
No, absolutely not.
No,
'Cause he would eat 24/7.
No.
Louis would eat every time you gave him food. So he gets his food between 5
Why
and
is that
6.
not surprising?
Yeah, he would eat all the time.
Like father, like dog.
Yeah. He eats in the morning early, then he eats again about 5:30 in the afternoon, 5:30
Wow.
in the afternoon. So he would eat all the time. Rod in South Lincoln, age 62, and Natalie Potts will be back as well.
Not quite.
I think she's still healing.
Yeah,
isn't she?
she's still healing. Talked to Amy Williams
Appreciate
a couple
you,
weeks
Rod.
ago at Big Ten Media Days. She's not practicing quite yet. They're targeting middle of the year for her. Middle of the season. Not middle of the calendar year. Middle of the season. We'll see.
Nick, the numbers, we look at these numbers with Nebraska and USC. Of course, the final score is 21-17.
Gross.
One of the texters before mentioned, at least they didn't cover the spread, I guess, what he was talking about.
Hey, and our little text thread.
Yeah.
we do a non-monetary pick'em between AD and I, and hey, we have both said Nebraska.
Yeah, we both said Nebraska on
I
there.
thought Nebraska would win. But
Rushing, Emmett Johnson led actually all rushers with 29 carries for $166, 5.7 yard average. TJ Lateef was 6 for 26 to lead those two. King Miller, of course, we had major issues with King Miller, 18 carries, 130 yards. His long was 16. His average was 7.2. Jade Maeva was 11 for 83. Those option reads he had that just RPOs killed us on crucial downs, 11 for 83. Nick, I thought their 2-point play. That's one thing about Lincoln Riley, and Jay was talking about that. You were bringing that up. Lincoln Riley, the closer the game is, the more aggressive he gets. I love how he does that. The flea flicker, the time he run it, the 2-point conversion play.
Yes,
I hate that it was against us, but that was dirty.
But like 80, that's
That
my
was
exact
dirty.
point to like the 4th and 1 play, and not to just continue to harp on this. Coaches have identities.
And Lincoln did that in Oklahoma as well.
Lincoln's done his, and everybody knows it. And he does not care that
Doesn't
everybody
care.
knows it, because that's what makes an identity a true identity. What is Nebraska's? What is Matt Rule's identity? And this isn't me saying, oh, well, we need to fire Matt Rule because we don't know the identity. That's not what I'm getting at all, because I think it is there. But if we can't sit here with 100% conviction and say, hey, this is what Nebraska wants to do, this is what Nebraska, their mentality is, their mindset is, and not because of what they tell us, but because of what they show us. That's the stuff that gets to me. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. Lincoln Riley, we know exactly what he does. It's not him pressing, it's him becoming more aggressive. Whether Nebraska wants to be more aggressive, whether they want to be more conservative, whether they want to run the ball, pass the ball, kick field goals, go for it every 4th down, I don't care. Be consistent in it, because that if you're consistent, that means you believe it.
You know, it's they threw a number of running backs at us too, with King Miller, Jade Maeva, obviously the quarterback, with Brian Jackson at 5 carries as well. Between the numbers a little bit, the overall numbers and tackles and such, I'll dive into that as well, and just some grading and things of that nature. First downs, overall USC at 20, we're tied. We had 20 as well. Net yards passing, and Nick, I want to get on this too. They had 135. This was the leading offense in the country. So here's some of the. Let's talk about the bright spots first. I don't think enough is being said about Sierra Wright to hold Lemon to what he had.
No,
he was almost non-existent. Mekhi Lemon had was targeted 4 times, caught 2 catches for 18 yards. Sierra Wright literally locked everything down on his side for the most part. I give him a lot of credit.
That's been a constant.
It's been a constant.
Like there's spots on this. I think everybody would argue. I mean, would say it. I think hey, you want something that all Husker fans can universally agree on? The defensive back area is not the area that Nebraska's defense is bad at.
No, they are solid, and they proved that
right.
Against USC, a very high octane, potent offense. Because I tell you right now, Jacoby Lane will be most likely be in the pros.
Yes.
Lemon will definitely be playing on Sundays, and I wouldn't be surprised to see McRae either. McRee as well. So Nebraska's secondary did a heck of a job at covering guys. Obviously, they got some under routes and things of that nature. They got a few of those. Well, they're going to with that caliber of athlete they got. But I'd match our secondary up against anybody. So those are definitely bright spots as far as that goes. And Isaiah Hunter targeted 9 times. 5 catches for 30 yards receiving. Ja'Cory Barney targeted 3 times. To your point, Nick, needs to be more there for 6 yards. Okay. Dane Key was targeted 5 times for 2 catches. Luke Lindenmeyer 2 times for 2 catches. Emmett 2 for 2 as well. Nick, the secondary did a great job. The defense at times held at times. So that was good to see. But at the most crucial moments, like we said, we gave up some serious yardage as far as that goes, man.
Yeah, the run defense is just so concerning. It's so concerning. I think that,
It's got to improve.
Yeah, but you're running out of time.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
like this
I'm
season.
totally
I know we agree.
You've got to improve. You've got to improve because you're going to face a quarterback come Saturday who loves to run.
Well, you're 75% of the way through the season, and it hasn't gotten better. That's my point. This goes back to the once again, I love to have the conversation, and I probably say it too much to where people get annoyed. The micro versus the macro, the differences. Did Nebraska make adjustments defensively to be able to combat USC's counter game, run game on Saturday? No. So that's the micro. Okay, you say, tip your cap to USC. Maybe they got you that weekend. Now, has Nebraska made adjustments from game 1 to game 9 on how to better defend the run? No. If your answer is no to both of those questions, that is concerning to me. Once again, those are facts. Those are facts that Nebraska is statistically one of the worst rushing defenses in the country. Okay, so we go back to, so then we look at the leaders in the room. Terry Braden at the defensive line. Rob Dvorak at the linebacker room. Phil Simpson, the edge rushing coach or outside linebacker coach, whatever you want to, however, I can't remember the official title. John Butler as the coordinator in that room. There's something, and I had this conversation with Jay on Saturday. There's a difference in philosophy on what priority number one is for NFL defensive coordinators and college football defensive coordinators. The NFL, you're not stopping the run. You are most concerned with stopping the pass. You're just trying to limit the run. In college football, you cannot have success as a defense if you cannot stop the run. And right now, it feels a lot like an NFL approach to where you try to just limit the run and stop the pass. And that has not worked for Nebraska defensively. And so then you look at the guys and the resumes. Terry Braden's an NFL guy. John Butler, NFL guy. A lot of these coaches as well had stints with the Carolina Panthers while under Matt Rule while he was there as maybe lower level assistants, but still there. A lot of these guys, I'm not saying NFL experience is bad, but if you can't flirt and find a blend between the two styles of football, college versus professional, then and if you are so staunch on just NFL approach or so strong on just college football approach, and you can't find a happy medium, then you're not going to have success. Those are the type of questions. And then, yeah, sure. Can we talk, did Nebraska identify the right guys out of the portal? Should they have brought in Marquise Watson Trent? Should they have brought in Deshaun McCullough? Should they? And the answer to those are some of them, most of them are going to be, yeah, they need to. But then it's development. There's a lot of layers to the onion. But from a philosophy, micro, macro conversation, AD, Nebraska micro from quarter 1 to quarter 4 did not get better at stopping the run. And from game 1 on the macro, game 1 to game 9 has not gotten better at stopping the run. And those are the things that are concerning.
Well, I tell you what, like Nick, as you mentioned, we're 75, almost 80% done with the year, and I'm sure the guys know it, the coaches know it, and it's got to get fixed, man. And I think one thing to consider too is, and this is not an excuse, this is reality. You have a very, very young defensive line team as far as that goes, with Elijah Judy being the only senior that is on there. However, you're 9 games in, man. You're 9 games in, and that's got to improve because. You think about those big runs by King just absolutely were just catastrophic as far as our defense goes. Man, you hold up, and it's not negating the plays where they did held up because you still held the number 1 offense in the country well under their season average. But you came up short. At the end of the day, that's what's going to matter. They're not going to see did you win the game or did you lose the game? We lost the game, so there's things to improve on. That's the bottom line. That's not putting dressing on it. The run support and the D line has got to improve. As far as stopping the run and putting pressure on the quarterback. So those numbers got to definitely improve, Nick. As far as kickoff yards, they were 5 for 323. We were 4 for 248. Williams, there was one on the right sideline to where he was kind of tripped up. He did the best he could on that one. Time of possession, they held the ball for 27 minutes, a little over 27 minutes. We had it for almost 33 minutes as far as that goes. So total offensive yards, they had 337. We had 286. Nick, when you look up and down the stats, because the numbers, that's where the story lies at. The numbers tell the truth, man. And as far as conversions, USC, they made it hurt. They made it hurt when they had to get it done. And Nick, it goes back to your comment earlier. Lincoln Riley is not afraid to remain who he is.
It's aggressiveness from Lincoln Riley. And
Not afraid.
So many people think, they see a Lincoln Riley offense and they think explosive plays. You think high-powered offenses. You think, deep shots down the field. I thought Lincoln Riley proved on why he's a good coach in his postgame show or in his postgame press conference. One of the comments that he said was, Nebraska essentially dared us to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So what did we do? We wanted to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That is what happened. And so part of it, and this is like part of the flow of within the game, you take what the defense can give you. You're able to have, just success if you're able to execute. And Nebraska on Saturday and multiple times, especially once Dylan Raiola got banged up. Once again, don't want to minimize that. But as Dylan Raiola got banged up, you weren't able to execute.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's on a player basis, whether that's on a coach basis, I don't know the answer. And we'll find out this week. Somebody on the text line asked us the question before we go to break. Where is it? Somebody said along the lines of why doesn't the media ask questions? Okay, here we go. Why doesn't someone in the media ask Rule what they are doing for adjustments versus the run? I think that here's the tough part. I'll say about like the people all the time ask, why don't you ask tougher questions immediately after post game? Well, first off, like Minnesota's a great example. Matt Rule's not going to come up and talk about the game without being able to see film. So after a game, it has to be, baseline questions, surface level as well. That's just the honest truth. Now, Monday is a big press conference day, obviously, because of your situation to. They've been able to watch the film. They've been able to meet with coaches. They've been able to kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday with coordinators, same situation there. A lot of the answers that we get is that they're repetitive. I'll say that they're repetitive. So why doesn't someone in the media ask Rule what they're doing for adjustments? I'll throw in there Rule and Butler. They can sit up there and tell all of us like, hey, this is what we're doing. But if they don't go out and do it, then, what good is it? Like, that's what I'm saying. Stop talking so much about what it is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, and we want to see it on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the presser today with Coach Rule's 11:30. Of course, both of the coordinators will be tomorrow, Butler and Dana Holgerson as well. When we come back, folks, we'll dive more into these numbers. Also, kind of just go on the edge and talk about Hugh Freeze and what's next there at Auburn. A lot of changes. Add another one to the list of available positions open in collegiate football.
I believe, AD, we are about to have a phone call. I think we have a listener who's been trying to call in, and we got a phone call. I believe as Bach is fielding it. Yeah, Bach is shaking his head. We're gonna go to the caller. I believe it's Mike. Is it Mike? Perfect. All right, we got Mike on the line. Mike, appreciate the patience, my friend. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Rule's contract. And I'm not saying that, he's not a good coach, but, his body of work, I'm just, just like the 4th and 1, and we blow a timeout, and he might be the next great coach. I'm not being overly aggressive against some of his calls, but I do think if we're being intellectually honest, some of his game management ever since he got here has been a little bit, borderline. What are we doing here? And that 4th and 1, if he kicks the field goal, I hope it goes in. Everyone says, what a great call. But it would have been, and I said it before the kick, it would have tied Kananen's longest ever.
Yeah.
And risk reward for, I don't get it. I don't get, he hires the coordinators. It seems like since about game 3, I've been saying our opening drives look fantastic when we scripted the plays. But then after that, it seems like we struggle a lot of the rest of the game. And so, I think the jury's out. And yet we give him, I think I read, a $79 million buyout.
Yeah.
And if Dannon leaves, what he owes the university goes in half. And if both Dannon and Gold leave, he has no buyout.
Yeah.
I don't get what Nebraska is doing. I mean, he played us like a fiddle. That's insanity. I mean, his body of work doesn't justify such a contract, and I'm not meaning to knock him.
Yeah.
More power to him, but I'm flabbergasted that we would sign such a contract. It just goes back to we just can't get out of our own way, or I don't know.
Thanks,
I'd like
thanks,
you to
Mike.
comment on that.
Yeah, happily. Let's take a break and we'll
Thank you,
comment
Mike.
on the other side.
Folks, we'll be right back. Mike, again, thanks for the call. It's The Drive, 937 A Ticket.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you tired of living in experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free? Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds, mapping high around 63. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, calm winds below around 43. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze. It'll be warm with a high near 71. I'm meteorologist Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back on this marvelous Monday. Appreciate the calls, the texts. What you laughing at, Swimmy?
No, nothing. Just my buddies have a tendency to text me right before we get back on air, and they send the most unhinged things. So then I get back on air and I start laughing.
Well,
what?
Tell you what.
What?
Enlighten us.
No.
Nick's like, I kind of like my job.
Yeah. I like my job. I like it a lot more when Nebraska wins, but I like my job a lot.
Not unless you can work the dump button, AD.
Yeah.
For the entire message.
Yeah, ask Ed Stewart if we can work the dumb button. Anyway, when you talking about Mike's call. Matt frustrated with the contract extension. I get that. I will say this in response to Mike real quick, because he specifically mentioned how Matt Rule's buyout changes if leadership leaves, if Dannon leaves, if Dannon and President Gold leave. That's a common piece of it, I would say. I would equate it to players if their coaches leave. We're past the point of you're playing for a program. You play for a coach, right? Like, and the program piece can be involved, right? But mostly your relationships are king. We know that, AD.
Mm-hmm.
It is a sense of security. Here's the perfect example. Let's say for God knows what reason, I have a buyout here at the station. And I don't. I mean, gosh, no, right? But like, let's say I have a buyout. And part of the buyout is, hey, you know what? If DP and Rebecca are not the owners, Nick, you're stuck. I wouldn't want that. I don't know who that next person is going to come in here and be the boss. I don't know that. I need a sense of job security. Coaches nowadays always, and they have to always have a way out. They always have to. And especially when it's things outside of their control. I can't control in my day-to-day life who my boss is. And if you're a coach, you can't control on a day-to-day process who your athletic director is, who your president is.
Right.
It's a sense of security to where, hey, it makes it easier for me to change jobs and make my personal situation better if this happens. So that's a common thing. I would not worry about that. Also, Mike, like, I think that's just part of the football world now. You extend coaches on potential, and you extend coaches so that you don't have to blow things up here. That's the biggest thing for me. Is Nebraska that there were pieces of success, but also You also you sign him so that you don't have to blow things up here, because Nebraska needs stability. Nebraska's number one thing right now is stability, and hopefully Matt Rule provides that for them.
Exactly. We'll wait to see how that rolls out. But that stability piece, as you mentioned, is huge, and we'd like to see some results starting. And I would say we've definitely seen progress as far as that goes. These games are frustrating when you have it, the opportunities in your hand to do it. So again, I mean, when you sign that type of contract, you can't. He knows there's going to be a lot of scrutiny that comes along with it. You know, that's part of the job. Unfortunately, I'm not saying unfortunately, but it is part of the job. When you sign those type of contracts, you are going to be scrutinized. When you do what me and Nick does, when you do what you do, I don't know what all your jobs are, but yes, there's scrutiny that goes along with it. Folks, Hugh Freeze was relieved of his duties. It was made official on yesterday, I believe, when it was. His buyout is anywhere between 15.4. Some are saying as high as 15.8. But there is a figure. There's no subject to mitigation on this contract. He's getting all of that money. It does not depend on if he gets another job or not. He is owed that $15 million for simple numbers there. So his contract has a no duty to mitigate clause. So that means he will collect that entire buyout, regardless if he gets a future employment, a future job or not. Nick, you think about that. If he gets another high-paying job, I think Hugh just wants to play some more golf. As far as it goes. I mean, Nick, you look at these numbers right here, and we're talking. And talk to Mike's point. Yes, these are astronomical numbers, but it is what the market is bearing right now. But he will receive kind of his payout. It's to be dispersed in a monthly installment of approximately $406,105. Every month until January 31st, 2029. 406 is going to hit your account every month for the next 4 years, as far as that goes. 3.5 years, I would say. So life is good. Like that song.
By Drake.
Life is good. You know what I mean?
Life is good. So, dang, man.
406 a month until 2029, my brother. Nick, tomorrow I want to dive into replacements, potential replacements, but also the number of vacancies that are available at schools that are in the Pac-5, obviously in the Power Four. There's a lot now. Obviously, you put Hugh Freeze there. There were false statements yesterday about another potential job in the Big Ten. That is not true. So I'm not even going to mention it and give it dignity, even talk about it. You
just mentioned it.
Well, I just said Big Ten. I didn't say which school. See?
But you just mentioned it.
See, you know what? I didn't.
Here we go. Let's have this day.
Here we thought. I thought that.
Come here.
That. I still love you.
Did you smell my new cologne?
That does smell good. What is that?
Mercedes.
Oh.
On sale at TJ Maxx.
There was a song called Mercedes back in the day. DF.
Was there?
DF, who sung that song? He knows who. Nick, do you think you know who sung that song?
I have no idea.
Mercedes. It was called Mercedes. Bach, do you remember that song called Mercedes by a particular singer?
No, Bach has no clue. He's not even listening.
There was a song called
Mercedes. Don't bring
Mercedes
Bach into this conversation.
That was back in the 80s. Do you want to ride in my Mercedes, boy?
That's great.
That was the name of the song. DF is going to know who that is. Nevertheless, Hugh Freeze can buy a new Mercedes every month.
Pebbles?
Oh, yeah. You must look at the text line. There's no way in Hades you knew who that was.
I'm a big Pebbles fan. Do you believe me?
No, I do not.
Is that a single person?
It
or
is
that
not
a band?
Pebbles from the Flintstones either, Nick.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Now I know.
I'm not even looking. Yep, it was DF. I knew that. Corey and Lincoln, please throw punch Nick already.
Corey, okay, actually, you know what?
Throat punch time.
Hold on.
Punch time.
Corey, I'm curious. So Corey's obviously one. He always jabs with me, and that's fine, right? We spar,
yeah.
Right? Not in real life. What are your thoughts on the game, Corey? I'm surprised we haven't heard him because he said earlier is a 52-yard field goal attempt conservative because I called it. I think the mindset is conservative, not the actual act. But I'm curious what Corey's thoughts are because a lot of texts bring valuable thoughts to the program. Corey usually is one of those. I will say that. So let me know, Corey, what your thoughts are on the game.
So Hugh Freeze is out.
Yeah, $406,000 a month.
$406,000 a month until
you
July.
Can buy a golf course.
He could until January 31st of 2029. Nick, going back into the Nebraska game, before we go into our last segment coming up here, let me ask you this: with these 3 games left, and text line, I'm going to ask you as well. I know we can't. There's a lot of texts. So forgive us for not being able to get to all of them. But you look at these 3 games left. You're going to play a game to where TJ goes home. UCLA. That's the game I just want to talk about. Actually, this game. what's your mindset for you as a fan? Just throw media out of it, throw everything out. Just if you were to look at it subjectively, objectively as a fan.
Yeah.
All right. Throw emotion out. I'm just a fan here. How do you feel about the game Saturday?
I think you're naturally concerned, and I think it's okay to be concerned. This is one that maybe 6 weeks ago you thought Nebraska was going to win easily. You thought Nebraska might be in a different spot record-wise. And so I think you're concerned, right? And naturally, with a backup quarterback, you wonder. There's curiosities of what the offense could look like. You wonder about the flow.
Nick, I got to stop you right there.
Okay.
There's also a song called Curiosity.
Okay.
DF, who sung that song?
Is it
Go ahead.
Pebbles?
No, it's not
Okay,
Pebbles.
it's not
Same
Pebbles.
era, though. Same era. DF,
Oh,
who
okay.
sung Curiosity. In fact, Justin Timberlake and Kelsey were dancing to it on the golf course about 3 months ago.
Wish that helped.
But, Nick, you're curious about this game.
Yeah, no, I think just curiosity about the game. Curious about what the flow looks like for Nebraska, offensively especially. I would imagine it's going to be close to a pseudo home game for Nebraska, but Nebraska hasn't been able to win games at home either. So every game at home either. And so I think it's a complete toss up. Do I think Nebraska wins Saturday? No. Yes. I haven't decided what I think Nebraska's going to do Saturday against the Bruins.
Unknown texture 5769. He's going to be at the game. Congrats, man. Have a blast. Yell loud there as well. Cubsker says right here, I'm hoping the coach game plans to TJ's strengths if that works and we win. But as a reality check to myself, we'll be lucky to go 1-2, and that's totally okay. I want to know your concerns. Unknown texture 7809 says not concerned one bit. I predict them to go 8-4 in regular season, still on track. Nick, for me, looking at what's up?
Okay, so if they lose on Saturday, that means 8-4 to get them to there. They got to win at Penn State and Iowa at home.
Have to do it.
That Iowa game at home is probably the toughest one left on the schedule.
You look at an Iowa team that slugged it out with Indiana very closely there in Iowa City a couple weeks ago. Nick, looking at this game objective. Go ahead.
Well, we got a text on the text line. We're up against the break, so that's why we can throw in this random thought. Are you going to the basketball game tonight?
No. I have to speak.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. You do.
Got to speak.
I will be there.
Can't let the kids down.
Yeah, for the kids, man.
Got to be there for the kids. Greens Plumbing.
3-hour banquet.
Yeah, not
4.5 hour presentation.
No, my presentation is going to be about 15 minutes because those parents can be ready to get the heck out of there.
8:20 to 8:35.
I'm gonna go 8:20 to about 8:40 the latest.
Okay.
And
you gonna have a Q&A?
No. Definitely no Q&A. Definitely no Q&A.
It might be good.
No. Those parents will be ready to go home because they're going to be there.
Q&A for the kids, how to play football.
No, that's not going to happen either, man. That's not going to happen. It's just going to be a quick rah talk, encourage them to understand the beauty of and the blessing of football and appreciate the parents for all the hours and hours they've put in, getting them to practice, paying for physicals and all that good stuff. So yeah, it'll be a quick talk.
Somebody did say on the text line, bowl game is clinched, pressure is off. Let's let the freshman show what he can do. Pressure is not off. Don't let up pressure. Pressure builds diamonds. It also bursts pipes. Figure out when Nebraska, which side of that is down.
For my quick take on this game, I feel again cautiously optimistic. But Nick, we got it on wax. Like I said, literally when Deshaun Foster got fired. And the text line, I was like, I said, I'm concerned about Northwestern. I said, I'm even more concerned about UCLA. Remember I said that? I said, because.
Yeah, and I said, oh, come on, AD. Concerned about UCLA?
Yes.
They might go winless. That's what I said.
And
verbatim.
I said, you know what? A wounded animal is a dangerous animal to fight. And UCLA, obviously, the hiccups they had against Indiana, but that team has no quit. They have nothing to lose. That is going to be a dangerous team on Saturday. I said, I'm going to say it now like I said it 6 weeks ago. A man that's not afraid to die is a scary person to fight because they were going to leave every bit on the field. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but again, I'm very concerned about their quarterback, man, and their running back as far as that goes.
How about this? If you're UCLA, Nebraska could effectively eliminate them from bowl contention if they win on Saturday. Nebraska, that is, because UCLA plays at Ohio State next week. Hosts 24th ranked Washington and then travels to USC. UCLA needs to win 3 of those 4 to be bowl eligible. Nebraska could have essentially they probably look at Nebraska and go, this is the most gettable one of the last 4 that we have.
They have a lot to play for, and we sure as heck do. Unknown texture 5769. Yes, going to the game. He goes, well, if it wasn't for 93.7 the ticket, I would go mental. Well, thank you for tuning in.
Thank
it's
you.
therapeutic for us to help you all
Yeah.
and to walk through it together as far as that goes. We appreciate it. Folks, we'll be back with 80 Attitude Adjustment. It's The Drive.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
From the capital to castles. Starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back for the last segment. Thanks for riding with us on this Monday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to give a big shout out, man. First, I want to give a big shout out to my oldest living brother, Mark Davis. Mark, I love you. I appreciate you, brother. Happy birthday to you. Mark is a longtime advisor at the University of Nebraska in the College of Business Administration. Was an equipment manager for the football team while he was in school. Also served in Desert Storm.
Wow.
In the military. I'll never forget, we were at practice at Lincoln High when the late Aldie Johnson came and told us we had just bombed Iraq, and he stopped basketball practice. And my mind went immediately to my brother. Sent home, and I'll never forget, he would make those calls to the house. We'd all be gathered around that phone waiting to hear from my brother. And you could literally hear those Scud missiles going. And he would just make calls when he could. But thankfully that war was done very quickly. But man, my brother Mark is always, he is the cornerstone of our family, and so he has been there with me at my darkest hours, at my happiest hours. I used to wear his clothes all the time because he had all that gear.
Yeah.
Glenn Abbott, the late equipment manager for Nebraska, and Gene Huey, who used to be the receivers coach in Nebraska for a number of years and became the running backs coach for the Colts for a number of years, was the one that gave my brother his job at the university as a ball boy. Then he became an equipment manager. And so I've been running around that stadium for a lot of years. Because of my brother Mark, and it's always about family with Mark. He takes care of all of us. So Mark, happy birthday, brother. I love you. I appreciate you. David Sizes, former Nebraska wingback. His birthday is today. Happy birthday, Husker brother. Appreciate you, man. It's his birthday. It's something I wanted to read, Nick. It's just as far as the I was really disturbed by just I would say, Nick, just kind of our lack of humanity when it comes to, people having opinions on sports and things of that nature. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, folks, attack the point, not the person. And I wrote this down. After Nebraska's lost USC, I scrolled through social media, and wow, it's gotten ugly. And folks were just debating football. They weren't attacking each other. They weren't attacking the point. They were attacking each other. One says the play calling was too conservative. Another says the players didn't execute. Instead of disagreeing respectfully, people start name calling and throwing insults like flags or late hit. Passion is good. The moment your program no longer has passion and the text lines and the airways are silent, you're in trouble. And the thing I like about Nebraska fans, we're the most passionate fan base there is as far as that goes. Even when we haven't seen the results that we want to see, we are still there. We show up. We do blackouts, redouts, whiteouts, you call it. We are there in whiteouts as far as that goes in conditions. But folks, let's not lose our moral compass. We can argue about schemes, coaching, effort, etc., but let's keep humanity. Here's a simple truth. You don't have to attend to every argument you're invited to. You simply don't have to. If you don't like the post, there's a thing you can do. It's called scroll. Scroll past it. Attack the point, not the person, because when we win with character, folks, we all win on and off the field and on and off social media.
There
Just
it
my
is.
2 cents.
15 seconds. Take it away.
Folks, thanks for riding with us today. Stay tuned. Nick will be back along with Bach and talk some more Husker sports. It's The Drive. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm